Hello there, buddies, and welcome to your favorite news channel, the British Chops. I'm Alexander.
And my name is George. Welcome, Chops and Choppies. Today we have a jolly good topic, the Civil War. We're in our station in the U.S. We are going to take a trip to some of the battle scenes, get some interviews, and learn something.
Yes, so sit back, relax, and learn! Okay, so let's get to it. We have Tom, our field reporter at the Battle of Gettysburg.
Tom, you're on.
It's a beautiful day in July and... Wait, is that... Oh my god, it's Robert E. Lee. He's invading Pennsylvania. Oh look, General Meade is taking control of the Union Army of the Potomac and getting ready to mess Lee up. Wait, we still have to wait for the Union soldiers to come. I'm going to take a nap. Oh, jolly good jelly beans. Oh, Jibba Booger. Oh, God, save the Queen. The Union Army is here. We're about to see a showdown. They have strong positions from the Culp's Hill at Cemetery Ridge. Lee is placing his troops to the left and right of the Union troops. They're starting to fire.
Take that, you evil critter! Headshots! Darn Union, you'll never win! Yeah. You guys are so fat. Pew, pew, pew. You guys are so bad.
Long live slavery!
No slavery, poo!
You'll never win!
We will win! Go fight!
This is too much gunfire. I'm going...
Union!
My arm! I'm dizzy. All right, day 3, and it looks like the Union might take the win here. General Pickett gave an order to counterattack the Union. Oh my gosh, the tables have turned. The Union has got the higher ground, and it's a knockout, and it's all over. Lee and the Longstreet Scramble has, after failed assault, I've gotten the news out of Confederates lost 2/3 of their army. However, the Union wasn't left out of the devastation. 23,000 Union soldiers were killed. Got shot. Oof. Just kidding. Back to you.
General Lee was waiting for a counterattack. Well, Lee was out of luck. He retreated. This is going to be bad for the Confederates. In order to have an equal chance or advantage over the Union, Lee will need to have a successful invasion of the North. He was waiting for a counterattack that never came, and this caused failure in Gettysburg. This loss for the Confederates gives an advantage in the war, meaning that the North is one step closer to win what they are fighting for, the preservation of the Union. Take it away, Alexander.
Thank you very much, George. Yeah, this war could really prove fatal for the Confederates. Well, it won't lose them the entire war, but it would certainly give the Union an advantage, as my friend George here said. So in other news, we've been wanting to talk to the United States President, the one and only Mr. Sir Man Abraham Lincoln. He may give us a call today and ask us to send Tom to him and have a sit with us for the interview.
We have a call and it's from, what a coincidence, it's Lincoln. Where are my manners? He's a chap we love, President Abraham Lincoln. Let's send Tom to him.
Tom?
Hello there, Mr. President Lincoln, sir. We have a few questions we want to ask you, and we'd like your answer. Our first question is, what were your strategies for winning the war?
Well, Tom, I'm flattered you have me here. Anyway, back to your question. I used some new technologies such as the locomotive or the telegraph to help the Union win the war. I used the locomotive to transport soldiers and ammo faster and to more places around the country. I also used the telegraph to communicate with the generals and give commands while I don't have to be on the battlefield. So those are just some of the strategies I used.
What do you hope to achieve throughout this war, and what will happen after you achieve it?
Well, my biggest goal is to reunite the Union. As long as America stays as one country, that is my goal. But I'm willing to negotiate. Even though I don't like slavery, I will still have it legal as long as the Confederacy join ourselves. Because as I once said, a house divided amongst itself cannot stand.
I see. Thank you for that. Now the final question is there anything you'd like to say to everyone watching?
Well, actually, I have a speech for the Battle of Gettysburg called the Gettysburg Address. Do you want me to hear it?
Of course.
Okay. Here it goes. 407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of the field as a final resting place for those who gave their lives so that this nation may live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger scene, we can dedicate. We cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little know nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us living, rather, to be dedicating here to the unfinished work which they have, who fought here, have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have the birth of a new freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from this earth. That's it.
Wow, that's amazing. Back to you, Alexander.
Has this ever happened to you? If so, you need the Amputator 2.0. Sure, you can use this cleaver, you can use this hammer, you can use this mallet, but where are you gonna put these things, huh? None of them are as efficient as this, the Amputator 2.0. Watch it in action. Just simply hook the amputator around the amputee's limb that you need to detach, and that's it. Oh! See? Perfect precision every single time. So if you're a Confederate, a Union, heck, a neutral, I don't care. Get the Amputator 2.0 for all your amputator problems. Your neighbors use it too.
And we're back.
Fresh.
Well, hopefully you stayed with those chaps, and now we have another battle we're just dying to share with you. Well, not really dying like the soldier, but dying as in the other dying, you know, the dying where we, George, can you tell our fellow chaps and chappies about this next battle, the Battle of Vicksburg?
Thank you, Alexander. Well, chaps and chappies, this next battle we visit is the Siege of Vicksburg. Vicksburg is the last major stronghold of the Mississippi River. If the Union won, they would split the Confederacy in two, fulfilling a major part of the Anaconda Plan. So with the Union trying to capture Vicksburg, Siege of Vicksburg begins. Here's Tom with some information.
Tom?
It's a wonderful day in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and the siege of Vicksburg is about to begin. Grant is starting the attack for the town to cut its supplies off. This is a good plan because the North is squeezing the town like the anaconda. They even cut out food supplies so they know that the civilians are going to have to rely on rodents, dogs, cats, and animals like that.
If I'm here, Confederate, like there, yeah.
I wish I wasn't Dixie away.
The Union won. The Union won.
Well, what do you know? The Union has won it again. This has got to be really depressing for the Confederates. According to my calculations, around 29,500 Confederates surrendered. This is tragic for the Confederates. The Confederates probably won't celebrate July 4th.
Well, that was exciting, wasn't it? This is turning about to be a big win for the North, but the Confederates might have a crazy backup plan. Who knows? However, a crazy backup plan is very unlikely because this war now has the South split in two, making them very weak. As a result of this victory, Grant is put in charge of all Union armies in the battlefield. So those are the effects. Alexander, would you like to say anything?
Actually, no, not really. Sorry, we're behind schedule and we need to move on to the Battle of Appomattox Courthouse. So, we'll continue with the battle. But first, these short messages.
Are you tired of this happening to you?
Die, you Confederate!
I'm not dead! You're dead!
Then you need this, the all-new mini bullet. Guess what, Pop? With this mini bullet, it'll explode inside their internal organs. Bada bing, bada boom, they're dead. No more worrying about limping shots. Boom, no more reloading. You shoot them once, they're dead. Gone, bada bing, out of your picture. Watch this. Ah!
It works great! The Confederates were retreating from the Union, and apparently General Philip Sheridan beat them to it, capturing over 6,000 prisoners at Sailor's Creek. The Confederates gave a shot with General Gordon, and they were successful, but eventually they got surrounded by Union troops.
Oh, darn. I'm surrounded.
Yeah, let's push. Yeah.
Lee eventually surrendered after saying, "There is nothing left to do but to go and see Gen Grant, and I would rather die 1,000 deaths." He sent a message to Grant saying that he surrendered. Grant replied and let him surrender peacefully, sparing everybody. I just got news on Grant's terms. He will let these Confederate troops go home and give them resources to continue on with their normal lives, but they will take all of their weapons. Well, here comes Grant now. Let's have an interview. General Grant! By the way, Lee was too embarrassed to talk to us. I mean, who wouldn't be embarrassed by a crushing defeat? Anyways, Grant, get over here! Hello, General Grant. Congratulations for your victory over Robert E. Lee. Now we have some questions we'd like to ask you.
Okay, first, thank you for having me. Also, thank you for the congrats. So, what were you saying about the questions?
How did you do it? How did you manage to beat Lee?
Well, first, let me talk about my strategies. I'm going to mention a few strategies. For example, we have to realize our strengths and their weaknesses and how to make our strengths their weaknesses. For example, our strength was we knew from the beginning that we had more people than Lee's army. So in the surrender at Appomattox, we were able to surround them and get like a lot of them to surrender. So when we got them to surrender, this basically gave us a winning position leading up to the surrender of Appomattox, where I gave pretty I'm gonna be bragging here. I gave pretty cool surrender terms, and we had to we actually made a weakness for Lee's army. For example, what good is an army without its supplies of weapons? So, with the weapons, we cut their supplies by surrounding them, and they had to live on rats, dogs, and cats, dude. So, yeah, those are just some of the strategies. I'm gonna share the rest are confidential.
That's great. Okay, I have another question I'd like to ask. How do you think all the previous events that you've had led up to the end of the Civil War?
Well, all the minor events, well, major depends on how you look at them. A lot of people died. So, for example, the Battle of Gettysburg. Though that didn't win us the war, the victory at Gettysburg allowed us to get an upper hand in the war. So, we had a like very big advantage over Lee. Beasts. And the next battle. Wait, which one was that? Oh yeah, the Siege of Vicksburg. At the Siege of Vicksburg. Well, Vicksburg was the last strongholder of the Mississippi River, so we needed to win this, and Lee needed to win this. If Lee won, he would have an advantage over the Union, or would like pretty much tie up the advantage we got in the Gettysburg. But if Lee won, we would have split the Confederacy into East and West. So since this war was a victory for us, we were able to split them up. This made them as a whole weaker. So that gave us another advantage on top of the Gettysburg advantage. And the surrender at Appomattox, also when we blocked their trade and their supplies. That gave us another advantage. Now the surrender at Appomattox. So this was basically the end of the Civil War, because as you can see, all these advantages added up, and it led to our victory. We beat Lee up!
Okay, well, that's all the time we have. Thank you for answering these questions. See you next time. That's all the time we had. Back to you.
Well, that was Tom's farewell to next time. It was our time to say goodbye until next time.
Well, actually, it's my turn to say goodbye for life, cause I'm retiring this year. Actually, today, in fact. I'm just joking, chaps and chapolettas. Anyway, wait, where were we? Oh, yeah. This is Alexander.
And this is George.
And we are the British Chops signing off. Oh.
Alexander, you're fired.
I wanna be like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you too. You'll see it's true. Someone like me can learn to be like someone like you.